We are following new details on the latest Ebola crisis to hit the Democratic Republic of Congo. At least 20 people have died and dozens of others have been infected over the past 5 weeks.
The World Health Organization is sending experimental vaccines to the country. Health workers hope to prevent another epidemic like the one in 2014 that killed thousands of people in West Africa. And CBS News foreign correspondent Debora Patta is with us now from Johannesburg, South Africa. Deborah, so what is the latest on the situation in the Congo and efforts to contain this outbreak? I mean, we all know that it started there, it was discovered there in 1976. The most recent one happened in West Africa.
In fact, this is the DRC's 9th outbreak of Ebola since it was discovered there, as you pointed out, in the 70s. So they do have some experience in containing an outbreak of this particular nature. The most important thing is to stop the spread of the disease. And to that end, what they have to do is track down everybody that people who have contracted Ebola or even died from Ebola have had contact with. The World Health Organization has sent specialists over there, and together with local teams, they've already managed to track down about 400 people. So this is a very significant development. The epicenter of the disease in the DRC is a little town. It's very remote. It's called Bikoro. And although it's remote, it sits on Lake Tamba, which is connected to the mighty Congo River. And a lot of people travel down this river. The nearest place is a port city about 3 hours away from Bikoro. So the worry is that the disease could spread in that way. So health workers have set up in Bikoro, and they've also set up in this port city in a bid to contain the disease. I think the feeling is that this port city will act almost as the canary in the coal mine, as it were, and if the disease is going to show up anywhere, it will show up there first. So those are two very important parts of containing this disease from further spread.
So, Deborah, you covered the 2014 outbreak that started in Liberia. What are the differences between what happened in 2014 and what's happening now?
There are two very crucial differences. The first is the speed of the response from international agencies. In 2014, you'll remember that the World Health Organization and other agencies were criticized for being staggeringly slow to respond. It took over 11,000 people to die before the disease was actually contained in West Africa. That was the tragedy of the situation, and many thousands more contracted the disease and got ill, but did unfortunately managed to survive. This time they've wasted no time. They immediately got stuck in there, sent teams to Bikoro, even though it is so remote. They've also sent resources in the form of protective gear, chlorine spray, which is crucial in terms of sanitation, and experts who can assist. They've set up a treatment center and a mobile lab to help with the spread of this disease. But the other very significant development, and you mentioned it at the beginning, and this perhaps is what is going to change the way the world deals with this disease in the future, is that we now have a vaccine. That vaccine was not available in 2014. It hasn't been licensed yet to any country, but it is available for use in what is known as compassionate use regulations. And the American company that's distributing one of the vaccines, Merck, has made over 4,000 doses, possibly even more, ready for deployment in the Congo. So a lot is riding on how that vaccine takes place. It can't cure Ebola, but what it can do is stop the spread of the disease, and it will be given to people who've come into contact with those suffering from Ebola, and most importantly to health workers, because obviously they are most at risk. And this could radically change the way the world deals with this outbreak in future, and also lessen some of the terror around the disease, because everyone knows the horrifying stories. Ebola kills half of its victims, and also what it does is that it terrifies people with just the way people die, bleeding, and the horrific stories one hears about it. So a lot is riding on this vaccine, which effectively is being tested in the field.
Incredible reporting as always, Debora Patta. Great to talk to you. Thank you very much.